So I think this is a really interesting week learning about EFT and the different approaches to it. I feel like I've been kind of embedded in behavioral therapy and those sorts of approaches, and maybe that's, just a lot of what's out there. It's also kind of what I'm drawn to. So EFT and the process of change in it, this idea that you target, okay, what's the emotional situation that needs to be built so that people can trust, so that they can be authentic, so that they can relate and kind of find that common ground. The other person or the rest of the people in the family aren't working against them, bringing some of that safety and even laughter back. It's definitely a huge benefit. I think the challenges would be finding that motivation in the different people involved in counseling. If you have a couple and one person's more checked out than the other, that's definitely a challenge you'd have to work through. And same with families. You might have this conflict that isn't resolved just because they're in therapy and that shows they're trying. There might be other things at play. Um, I'm really drawn to SEFT. I think that's a really interesting approach. And the idea of kind of, destabilizing the emotional patterns, not just the behavioral patterns like we saw with Jay Haley and others. It's how do we get them to have fun again? And maybe it's a little wacky, it's a little difficult to use correctly, but I think that's a really interesting approach to it. So I'm interested in learning more.